Welcome to my channel Learn-O-Read. In this video, we will going to discuss about the gross anatomy of the kidney, also called as the renal anatomy. So, we will going to discuss about the structures of the kidney, what we can see inside the kidney and how the kidney is covered by the outer layers of the capsule and the fascia. Also, we will going to discuss in this video about the vasculature of the kidney and the lymphatics of the kidney. So here you can see I have drawn a diagram where two comparative kidneys are compared. So to compare about the fascias and the covering of outside the kidney, and here this is shown the cut section of a kidney where we can see the cortical layer and the medullary region of the kidney. And these are the structures that pass into the kidney and outside the kidney. They are carrying the urine towards the ureters into the urinary bladder. Okay, now starting from the structure of the kidney. The two kidneys are the ovoid bean-shaped structures. They are located retroperitoneally in the posterior abdominal wall. They are attached to the posterior abdominal wall and they are devoid of the peritoneum. The second point to remember that these two kidneys lie at the level of T12 to L3 vertebrae. The superior level is at the T12 vertebrae and the inferior level lie at the L3 vertebrae approximately. Now, one more important thing here to be discussed is that the right kidney is somewhat lower than the left one. Why? Because the right kidney is covered by the superior lobe of the liver. So that's why it is somewhat inferior than the left one. The arterial supply, the venous drainage and the lymphatic supply is by the area of the depressed area in the kidney that is present medially is called as the hilum of kidney. And the hilum of kidney lie at the transpyloric plane where the pancreas tail will going to emerge it. Then if we cut the kidney, we can see two zones of the kidney. This one is the outer zone of a kidney that is darker in color. This zone is called as the renal cortex, and this renal cortex having 90% of the blood flow. That's why it is darker in color. This renal cortex contains large amount of renal corpuscles. And what are renal corpuscles? The renal corpuscles are the Bowman capsule and the glomerulus that present in the nephron. So thousands of the nephron with the renal capsule are present in the renal cortex. Now if we see the inner area of the lighter region, that is the renal medulla, we can see these structures that are called as the pyramids. These triangular shaped pyramids having the apex at the area of a central and the bases are attached at the area of a corticomedullary junction. These pyramids having the connection with the minor calyces by the papilla. The papilla are the excretory area where the urine form and pass into the minor calyces. From the minor calyces, they all join to form the major calyces and then they enter into the pelvis of the ureter. From the ureters, the urine is go to the ureters and to the urinary bladder. So, the function of the urine formation is through the pyramids that take place through the pyramids, and the nephrons may dip down into the medulla. Now, one more important structure here you can see that between the pyramids there is an area, space area. This area that is between the pyramids is called as the renal columns. While superiorly in the cortex, you can see that these pyramids are extend and in the form of rays, they are forming the medullary rays. This was just about the histology of the kidney. Now, what we can see in the hilum of the kidney, there is a medial depression of the kidney. In the hilum of kidney, we can see several structures from outside to inside. First is the renal vein, that is a branch of inferior vena cava that drain into the inferior vena cava. Then we have the renal artery. Posterior to the renal vein is the renal artery that divides into the segmental artery and then it will going to supply the arterial drainage to the kidney. Posterior to the renal artery is the pelvis of the ureter. So from anterior to posterior we have renal vein, then renal artery and then the pelvis of the ureter. This was all about the internal anatomy of the kidney. Now we can see in this diagram, second diagram, here we can see the structures that are present outside the renal capsule. First structure that we can see outside the kidney is the covering area, and this is called as the renal capsule. The renal capsule is formed from the collagenous fibers and the elastic fibers. The type 4 collagen is going to form the capsule that surrounds the kidney outside. Then outside the renal capsule we have a layer of a fat. This fatty layer is called as the perinephritic fat that surrounds the renal capsule. Then outside the perinephritic fat we have another layer of fascia. This in the purple color is called as the renal fascia. This renal fascia not only covers the kidney, but this renal fascia will also going to cover over the adrenal glands. So the renal fascia is an important structure of support of the kidney. Outside the renal fascia, we have another layer of fat that is called as the paranephrotic fat. And this paranephrotic fat will also going to cover all over the renal fascia. Also, this paranephrotic fat will going to pass over the pelvis of the ureter, and it will also going to form the periureteric fat. So, from inside to outside, what structures we can see outside the kidney? First, the renal capsule. Outside the renal capsule, we have a layer of fat that's called as perinephrotic fat. Then outside the perinephrotic fat, we have the renal fascia. Outside the fascia, we have the paranephrotic fat. These all structures are going to support the kidney and make it in its original place, prevent the dislocation of the kidney. Now we are going to discuss about the relations of kidney that are also very important to remember. If you assume it in an abdominal wall where you can see the anterior structures present in the kidney are present, and they are the part of liver, duodenum and the ascending colon in the right kidney. While in the left kidney, the stomach, pancreas and the spleen are present in its anterior structure, and also the descending colon is present in the anterior structure of the right kidney. Now posteriorly, the kidneys are related with the diaphragm. The grooves of the diaphragm that are present over the suprarenal gland are in the posterior relation to kidney. And these grooves of the diaphragm with these certain muscles, including the psoas major muscles, the quadratus lumborum muscle, they are all forming the posterior surface of the kidney. So in this way, kidney is related with the anterior and the posterior structures of the abdominal wall. While superior pole of the kidney is covered by the adrenal gland, while the inferior pole of kidney, the two layers of the fascia are covering the inferior surface of the kidney. In the medial of the kidney, we have the hilum, that is a depressed area, and the outer side of the kidney or the lateral side of kidney, there is a convex bulge of the kidney. So this was all about the kidney. Now we are going to study about the arterial supply of the kidney. That is also much important to remember. Okay guys, so the arterial supply of the kidney is from the renal arteries. The renal arteries that are the branch of the abdominal aorta, at the level of L1 and L2 they arise, and this renal artery will going to enter from the hilum of kidney at the level of transpyloric plane. From the renal artery there arises the 5 segmental arteries for each segment of a kidney. These 5 segmental arteries, including the superior segmental, the anterior in the superior segmental, the anterior inferior segmental, the inferior segmental and then the posterior segmental artery. These 5 segmental arteries at the level of apex of the pyramid, they divides into the interlobar artery. You can say between the pyramid the arteries are called as the interlobar arteries. Then these interlobar arteries ascend upward into the medulla, and these interlobar arteries will at the base of the pyramids they will forming the arcuate arteries. The arcuate arteries at the base of pyramid will ascend upward, and in the cortical area they will going to form the smaller arteries that are called as the interlobular arteries. So, from the renal artery, we have the segmental artery that divide at the level of the pyramids into the interlobar artery. Then, at the base of the pyramids, it is divided into the arcuate artery, and then arcuate artery in the cortical areas will form the interlobular arteries. From the interlobular arteries, there is an afferent arteriole arise, and that afferent arteriole will going to supply the glomerulus of the renal corpuscle. From the glomerulus, there is a peritubular capillary arise and then ascend into the efferent arteriole. That efferent arteriole drain into the renal vein ultimately. So the venous drainage is from the renal vein, and the renal vein drive, and the renal vein will going to enter into the inferior vena cava. So you can see the final drainage of the renal vein into the inferior vena cava. Now the left one is the lymphatic drainage. The lymphatic drainage of the kidney is from the para-aortic lymph node or the lateral aorticolumbar lymph nodes. So this was about the vasculature and the arterial supply of the kidney, and we have discussed just the anatomy of the kidney in the previous session. So this was all about. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more. Don't forget to comment below and give feedback on our Facebook page. Thank you for watching.